Hey everyone, welcome back to Garage Stories. So if you're new here, this is the perfect video to click on because I'm going to kind of explain the backstory of where we've been, where we are today, and where we're headed on this channel. So if you're a long-term viewer of the channel, you've noticed that we haven't put out any videos for a little bit. And that's not because we aren't filming anything, we are. But I've just been kind of considering where this channel is headed. And let's take a step back and go back to the very beginning. So Garage Story began in 2021, a little while after we bought our house. We purchased our house the year before, and before I had any children. So I had a lot more time back then to work on projects. I was trying to make some money selling lawnmower parts and fixing lawnmowers, and that was kind of a major direction of the channel, trying to make money with lawnmowers and stuff like that. And I was by no means an expert. I was learning things as I went, and you longtime viewers, hopefully you learned some things with me, but you know what I'm talking about. I am not a know-it-all lawnmower person. Over time, my time naturally diminished. I had less and less time, and the importance of making that extra money through lawnmowers was just not there. I just didn't have the time to do it. It wasn't critical for our daily life, so the motivation wasn't there. I kind of jumped in both feet and got a ton of lawnmowers. I still have a ton of lawnmowers because I couldn't pass up free ones, because I was like, okay, I'll get it now. I'll figure out what to do with it later. Well, later is here. I'm trying to figure out what to do with them. So I never ended up taking the time to process them all out. But that ended up being a major focus of the channel, was lawnmowers. That was not my intent. I wanted the channel to cover all sorts of things, mechanical stuff. It's just that's what I happened to be doing at the time, and it kind of overwhelmed the channel and took over. Today, we have a lot of cleaning up as we try to transition over from focusing on lawnmowers to focusing on other things. Let's try to get some stuff cleaned up. Let's try to get some burning done. Let's try to get some lawnmowers moved and maybe get the last mowing in for the season. We'll see what happens. So I'd like to get all the lawnmowers off of the grass that I can, so we can kind of get our final mowing done. Don't have a whole lot to burn today, but I think we may find some more as we go along. I'm in the middle of working on a leaky faucet here, waiting on the parts to arrive to rebuild that, but we should be able to function today, enough for keeping the burn safe. So something I've realized over the last few years is that in focusing on lawnmowers and things like that, other necessary projects have gotten kind of pushed to the side. And that's one of the things I'm trying to redirect here and get back on track with doing necessary projects. And there's two reasons. One was trying to make money with mowers, and one was trying to keep good, interesting content for the channel, and that seemed like the best way to do that. But I can't do that forever. It's time to move on from that a little bit. And obviously with having 65 mowers or 70 or 80 mowers, however many I've got now, if you're here for lawnmower content, there's still going to be some, but I'm really trying to put that on the back burner other than trying to get things cleaned up. We'll just let that fire do its thing there for a little bit. I'd like to get all this grassy stuff cleared out of here and thrown on the fire, honestly. This is right where I'm probably going to be putting some mowers. You got to do what's important for your family, not just what you think other people think is important for you, or what you think other people think is important, or what want to see, or what you think will make you the most money if you don't have to have that money. All those damp leaves are making the fire really smoky. Hopefully no one gets concerned about a wildfire or anything. But I do have a permit, so we should be good. In all honesty, the burning's not going that well. I guess things are too damp, too green, put too much dirt on there maybe with some of the weeds and leaves and stuff, but just kind of is what it is. I keep trying with the torch to help it out, but it's just kind of smoldering along. I need to get a scoop of dirt with the front end loader to finish filling in a hole over here, a washout we got last springtime. Today, where we are at with Garage Story is I don't have a ton of time. I don't have a lot of need for selling lawnmowers and stuff, which we'll get into that. I still do want to make some money off of that stuff, but we're at a point where we're trying to work our way out of the lawnmowers. and we're going to hopefully be having less and less lawnmower content. But I want this channel to be more about lifestyle and just a guy working to take care of his household, his family, his house, and the projects and stuff that he's interested in, and really imparting to my viewers, hopefully, just basic, what I think should be basic, everyday guiding life principles and how I operate. I want to convey that in how I operate and conduct myself and do business, and what things I treat as a priority. And I by no means am perfect at this. I don't know all these things all the way. I'm learning stuff. I'm probably going to learn some stuff from you, my faithful viewers, and my new viewers, hopefully. But that's what I want the channel to be, is more about life and how we live life, and with a mechanical slant, because I really enjoy mechanical stuff, and that's something, in some ways you could say I'm gifted at that. I don't really feel like I'm gifted at it. I just feel like I'm someone who's willing to try. And that's one of the things I wanted to convey to people over the course of these videos, is just being willing to try. Get out there and do something and find out how it works and just go for it. Which is kind of ironic, because I struggle with doing new things that I haven't done before. So you're watching me go through and fight battles. I don't know, is there a better way? I think that looks good enough for what we're doing. The backhoe is not running super great either. And it kind of goes through phases where it doesn't run real great, and then it runs better, and then it doesn't run real great. Running it out of gas probably didn't help at all. But yeah, I lowered the throttle and it kind of just died on its own. So we'll see if it clears up today or not. That poor thing gets so much neglect. That's something, gosh, I don't know. That's maybe a stretch goal at some point, to try to get this thing better overall. I just think it would take so much time and work, and it's just, it functions the way it is, so it's hard to justify putting a bunch of time and effort into it. If I go out here and turn the key and it starts and it picks up what I want to pick up, moves what I want it to move, then it's hard to justify putting a bunch of time into fixing all the leaky cylinders, redoing the carburetor, maybe new tires, paint, servicing the rear end, you know, all that stuff. Servicing the rear end might be important though, but it might be about time to start moving some mowers. And I kind of been putting it off a little bit because, well, I don't like snakes, and a lot of this area out here is prime snake habitat. I think we've already found 5 copperheads this year. 3 of them were all on the same day. That was fun. I just pulled up that board a little bit ago, and I saw a snake skin, like an old snake skin under there. So yeah, it is snaky. Sometimes you just got to get over your fears. Oh, okay. So yes, present day, I have a lot of lawnmowers, but I have other things like this motorcycle behind me here. I purchased this last year and I started a video on that, and then I parked it in here and I never finished the video. So it's things like that that I want to get back to when I have time. And I've got another dirt bike behind you there. You know, those are things that are interesting to me in a different way from lawnmowers. Lawnmowers were interesting for making money, and that can be very useful, and I'm sure we'll still have videos about that. But working on motorcycles and four-wheelers, that's stuff that I find like fun, but then there's also necessary things. Working on cars, we purchased a minivan recently, and I have the video that I'm in the middle of filming on that one, getting it up and running. So that's like someone trying to take care of his family. What's the practical, economical way to, you know, get a new vehicle? Are we going to use old vehicles, new vehicles, that kind of stuff? I want to get into things like that on the channel. Alright, let's start pulling this stuff up and see if we find any snakes back here. So there's the snake skin I was talking about. Right there. That day I had 3 copperheads. That big one was right over here. Right under this one. I was digging out stickers, sandburrs, some weeds early morning. I was working like right here. All of a sudden I heard something. I looked over there and he was in the middle of molting. This thing is ginormous. So the videos going forward may seem a little eclectic, but we have to do what works for us to maintain putting out videos. And it also is really important to do videos that I feel like are valuable in some form or fashion. So I want to provide value to my audience. If there's something important I want to talk about, we may just have a video just about talking about that one topic. If we want to do a video just kind of showing a lot of things like a day in the life, we'll do a video about that. If we want to do a video about a particular project, we'll do a video about that. If it's a long project, it may be broken up into multiple videos depending on how long it takes. That's just the reality of life if we're going to try to consistently upload some videos. And sometimes I may talk about concepts where it's a mixture of things. I may tell stories, I may have on guests. Try to get some air in that tire before we lose the bead. I think hopefully you're going to see a wider range of videos on the channel. And from like a pure YouTube standpoint, that may not look like a good idea, but I have to stay true to what is the best thing to do. And that's not always what's going to make me the most popular or get the most views from the YouTube algorithm. And who knows? No one really knows. It seems like no one really knows how the algorithm works, so. All right, that looks good. Now let's get this one back here behind you moved. So this one's kind of cool because I was going to use it as the engine swap for the Ferris, which may or may not ever happen. Kind of leaning towards not, but that's a valuable engine potentially. But let's go ahead and get that fork, put it up over there. Another thing I really wanted to mention is that this channel is about stories. I'm kind of telling some of my stories, but you all have stories, and I want to hear your stories. I want you guys to comment and let me know. I really like hearing from my subscribers. I like hearing from anybody who wants to comment. Sometimes I get comments that don't seem that pleasant, but by and large, most of them are fine, good comments, and I really enjoy the feedback of hearing what everyone else is thinking out there. The people are so important. You guys are so important. I want to help you guys with sharing my life here, sharing this story. One of the important things of this channel is the importance of family, which is something that's not always shown by the camera, but what's not shown, or how often sometimes I've posted videos. And I mention it, the importance of family. My family is very important to me. And so as I have more and more children, you know, my time becomes less and less. And I want that to be one of the focuses of the channel, in a sense, is taking care of the family, putting them first. And in conveying that on the channel, on YouTube, I don't want to actually sacrifice doing that in real life, if you know what I mean. I don't want to spend all this time making videos talking about how family is important while I'm stealing time from my family in order to tell people that. I don't want to fall into that trap, and I encourage you not to fall into traps like that where you think you're doing something for your family, you're making lots of money for your family, but then you're never spending any time with them. The family is very, very important. Next one up, probably that Toro, or we could go for this Craftsman here, honestly. Then that would give us the pass through here and we could get in and out there. So forks are way easier than moving a mower by hand. That's kind of dead unless it's an easy roller and not really going uphill at all. But they can damage things. If a mower doesn't have a deck on there, that makes it a lot easier. And that one I just moved, it didn't have a deck, and it also has a bad transmission, I believe, so not really a whole lot under there to worry about. This little Craftsman here, I don't know if I might damage the deck trying to move it. And part of it is if all the tires are flat, then it's real low on the ground. And then you kind of have to work the forks under there, and it can be hard. Sometimes you get your forks hung up in there, you get them like diagonally through the braces, and you're trying to get them out. Since I part out most things, it doesn't usually end up being a big deal, but it is something I think about. But is this a classic that someone's going to want, or is this really just obsolete and scrap metal? Probably depends on the person. I think we'll go get after with the forks and see how that goes. Got dropped off over here. Did not hit the other mower. And you know what? This deck is rusted through. So I don't think this thing is going to be a candidate for restoring. I think we need to put the strap on this one and pull it out. That one actually kind of sort of runs. If it had a good battery, I might be able to get it fired up, but I stole the battery for something else. Man, I zoned out there for a second, just kind of standing there thinking, am I the only one that ever does that? Seems like it happens. Perhaps too frequently. Don't see any reptiles there. I'm gonna go ahead and try to put some air in these tires that'll take it right now, just to keep them from falling off. I never did decide if I was gonna sell this mower whole if I was going to do work to it first or if I was going to part it out. See, this one ran. The front tires need to be replaced. The linkages in the steering were messed up, and the engine, I thought it had a slight knock to it. That, and I couldn't get the valve cover oil leak fixed. I did put a new gasket on there, but it still had like a little leak. So I was like, would I feel good about selling this to someone with a slight, what I thought might have been a slight engine knock? Like, it still ran and worked fine. So I fixed the problem by not doing anything at all. I also did mow with it once. I think this is the one I got stuck. I remember. Yeah, I think it is. At this point in time, it's probably best just to part it out, take the transmissions out, because I know they worked. It was a free mower, so I can't complain. Alright, so I found one of those transmissions sold for $400, free shipping. Maybe they made about 300 bucks off it. So if I sold both of the back transmissions, I might be able to get about 600 bucks, 500-600. But I'd have to put the time and effort into it. There's not much else on here that I think would really be worth trying to sell on eBay. The deck possibly, but that'd be a pain to ship. And the parts engine, I don't really know. All that to say, if I could sell this thing for $400 locally as a parts machine that runs, I guess something needs work, that'd probably be better for me just because of the amount of time. So what it boils down to right now is, should I go ahead and stick this over on the tarp or not? Or should I leave it out here where I can picture it and sell it easier? Alright, so I just took some pictures of it, and that way I can list it, but I need to go ahead and get it out of the way. Let's pull it up on out. Alright, we took a quick break there with the kiddos. It's about supper time. The sun is setting back there behind me. So I think we're going to wrap it up here with this mower. We'll get this one up there and we'll be done for today. Although I'll probably try to make sure the fire's out before we go to bed. So yeah, it's been a good day actually. But you know what? There were times when I didn't think it was going really well. That was pretty discouraging. We didn't get everything done, didn't get everything moved, certainly didn't even start mowing. But we made forward progress, and what more can you ask for? Let's go ahead, see if we can get this thing wrapped up. One thing I wanted to mention just in passing is this channel is not about me. It's not about me, and a lot of you are probably going to understand exactly what I mean by that, and hopefully the rest of you will come to understand that by watching. All right, well, we got the Toro put over here, put the bagger stuff back on it. That looks pretty halfway decent. We still got a mess out here, but we're getting it better than we had it. All right, time to go spray out the fire for the night. All right, that should be good. Well, I guess it's time to call it into our day, but yeah, I got some stuff done. Stay safe, keep making stories. Don't be afraid to get out there and break a wrench. Spend time with your families. See you next time.